Chinese are very proud of their long history and 5,000 years of civilization. But when they leave China, the bad behavior by Chinese tourists often leaves them embarrassed and the outside world dumbfounded. Many attribute Chinese tourists' poor manners to a lack of education, worldly experience, or proper breeding. But that's not the case. Chinese people are not the problem. They are the victims of the regime having systematically destroyed traditional culture and disconnected its people from their cultural roots. How did the Chinese Communist Party turn an ancient civilization following propriety and respect into a troubled nation plagued by mistrust and indecorum? And is there any hope? Hello, welcome to my show. I'm Lei. Today is the 15th day of the Lunar New Year, known as the Lantern Festival. It's a traditional holiday marked by bright paper lanterns, rice dumplings, and evening activities where young men and women were allowed to mingle. Some call it the Chinese Valentine's Day. Yesterday was Western Valentine's Day, so happy Lantern Festival and Valentine's Day. One of the essential components of our culture is art. Whether it's Western or Eastern culture, art is traditionally linked to religion and faith. When the Communist Party came to power in China, it first went about to destroy Chinese people's faith in Buddhism, Taoism, and Confucianism, and change the meaning of art by turning it into a political tool. This is best illustrated in the Australian movie Mao's Last Dancer. The film is based on the real-life story of Chinese ballet dancer Li Chunxing, who was taken from his peasant home at a young age by the government and chosen to study ballet in Madame Mao's ballet school in Beijing. The movie depicts Madame Mao inspecting the school and giving directions for the arts. Take a look.
跳得还可以，可是枪在哪里？政治观念在哪里？你们的革命表情又在哪里？
And just like that, traditional ballet was dead, and a violent political dance drama called The Red Detachment of Women was born. Beautiful princes and princesses were cast out, and revolutionary gangsters became the idols. Beauty, refinement, and propriety were replaced by rogue manners, violence, and disrespect. Any artists who fought against this artistic direction or who tried to hold on to traditions were persecuted. In the film, Li and other young dancers are watching authorities taking away one of their favorite teachers for being a counter-revolutionary. Later, Li secretly watched a tape given to him by his teacher. It was the first time he saw Russian dancer Mikhail Baryshnikov dance. It was a turning point in Li's life. Years later, Li defected when he visited the United States as a performer. Today, he lives in Australia with his family.
In the West, I felt so free. I felt to dance the beautiful ballets, the Nutcracker, Swan Lake, is just magical. In China, we were only allowed to dance the political ballets with guns, swords, grenades in our hands.
Not just ballet and Western art forms, traditional Chinese performing arts, such as Peking opera, were also used as tools by the CCP to brainwash people. During the Cultural Revolution, 8 performances were officially declared as revolutionary sample shows that included ballet, Peking opera, and a symphony. Later, a piano concerto was added. The Red Lantern, a Peking opera, was one such revolutionary production. Take a look at this aria by a 17-year-old girl mourning her communist father who was a spy and killed by the Japanese. With this onslaught of propaganda, the 5 cardinal values taught by Confucius, which the Chinese had followed for thousands of years, kindness, righteousness, propriety, wisdom, and faith, were gone. They were replaced with the CCP culture that promotes class struggle, fighting, hate, and violence. The impact on Chinese people's mentality and behavior is still present today. We may be wearing designer clothes from Chanel and Dior and carry Louis Vuitton bags, but the marks of an aggressive mentality and indecorous attitude are still underneath it all. I say we because I too had to go through a stage of getting rid of this bad communist mentality. Some well-educated Chinese like to believe that they don't have this problem. Based on what I've seen, unless you've lived in the free world for a long time, or you consciously make an effort to get rid of it, it's very hard for mainland Chinese to have their behavior and mentality not to be tainted by the communist culture or by the CCP culture. And education or income don't have much to do with it. When Deng Xiaoping opened up China in the 1980s, pop culture from the outside also seeped in. The star who helped Chinese rediscover the joy of music was Taiwanese singer Teresa, the queen of Asian pop. She was so popular in China that she was nicknamed Little Deng, and Deng Xiaoping was Big Deng. In the beginning, Big Deng and the CCP considered Little Deng a decadent and demoralizing interference, but they were more or less helpless about stopping it. Teresa's soft voice and sweet music took China by storm because it warmed Chinese people's hearts after being cold from decades of brainwashing. I'll play her music at the end, and you'll see the drastic contrast from the propaganda music. Since the 1990s, the CCP has rebuilt or restored many cultural relics destroyed during the Cultural Revolution, primarily for purposes of tourism. But it restored only the hardware. The software and the essence of traditional Chinese culture, its values and beliefs, are still mostly missing in today's China. That's why we continue to see poor-mannered Chinese tourists. Nobody could do anything about it. But then a group of overseas Chinese artists decided to make a difference. In 2006, a group of North America-based artists established Shen Performing Arts, and they made it their mission to revive the 5,000 years of traditional Chinese culture through music and dance. Every year they tour around the world. I'm sure you've seen their colorful billboards and ads. Some people mistakenly think Shen is from China, but it's based in New York and is an American company. Many of Shen artists are Falun Gong practitioners, some of whom have fled China because of the persecution, and some have families being persecuted there. In their dances and songs, they also tell the real-life stories of today's human rights atrocities in China. As a result, Chinese embassies and consulates around the world intimidate their sponsors, threaten theaters, and sabotage Shen properties. But despite the CCP's efforts to discredit and bring down Shen, the organization has grown into 7 touring companies that simultaneously tour worldwide. This year, Shen's tagline is "See China Before Communism," which I think accurately describes what Shen is all about. I was raised in a family of classical music lovers. I love opera, ballet, and symphony. Although China had a glorious civilization, I used to think China didn't have much to offer when it comes to performing arts. There is Chinese folk music, but it's not exciting to me. Peking opera is a small production, and the singing style is hard to understand. As far as dancing is concerned, I thought there's nothing that could be compared to ballet. However, Shen proved me wrong. It showed me that China does have a lot to offer in the performing arts arena. Shen's staging, music, dance, and overall artistic merit are totally comparable to Western ballet, opera, and symphony. It's very Chinese, but has a universal appeal. It's also very traditional, yet feels exciting and new. I also learned a lot about Chinese culture, such as the Chinese instrument called erhu. I was blown away by its versatile and soul-stirring sound. It's a big irony that even though I was born and raised in China, I didn't know how to appreciate my own culture until I came across a Chinese-American performing arts group in America. The Chinese people that Shen portrays on stage are beautiful, kind, courageous, and they even have a sense of humor. They make me proud as an ethnic Chinese. I believe that when Shen Yun goes to China to perform one day, it will reconnect Chinese people with their cultural heritage and help them rediscover who they really are. So if Shen Yun comes to your city, go watch it. Don't miss it. You will learn a lot about China, the real China. I also highly recommend the movie Mao's Last Dancer. It's a great movie. I'll post the links below for you. Let me finish today's program by playing a song by Teresa. By the way, she is a cultural icon who refused to perform in mainland China and said she would go only when China became a democracy. Unfortunately, she passed away before that happened. The song I'm going to play is the most popular Chinese song of all times, and is called "The Moon Represents My Heart." It has an American connection as it was written by a Taiwanese songwriter in Boston when he attended the Berklee School of Music in the early 1970s. So happy Lantern Festival and happy Valentine's Day.